All right, joining me today is who's known as the Proud Canuck all over TikTok, and I guess you could say on other platforms as well. The Liberal government would refer to him as Maple MAGA, as they do with many of us. So today, welcome to Mark out in Ontario, who is the Proud Canuck. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Mike. I appreciate the invitation.
And I mean, obviously, you started to gain some following by doing the famous Trump dance all over TikTok, which I love, by the way. Um, but even aside from that, you do make videos that bring up some very good points about the way Canada's going and just the differences between, grocery costs in Canada compared to across the border. Um, and obviously, I know, and I won't bring it up, but you live closer to a border, so you can see um, the differences between you go 30, 40 minutes down the road to see American pricing, and then you come back and it's like, what is going on here?
Oh man, exactly. And a lot of other influencers, they've made videos about this. I don't know if I started the inspiration of it, but they started like I started off with comparing the gas prices. We
Mhm.
were paying, at one point, like, what was it, a buck 50, let's say a buck 50 a liter we were paying. In the States, they were paying like 2.98 a gallon. You do the exchange, everything, it turns out to be like a buck two a
Yeah.
liter. After exchange, everything, I'm like, well, why not? But then you got and what's insane, I notice, the liberal haters I have, they are so, it's like a virus on TikTok.
It
They
is.
are the worst on TikTok. And I think all of our followers, your followers, my followers, we all know about Mario Zelaya, I believe
Yes.
his name is.
Yep.
And he made a video about how these people that comment on our videos, they're not even real people. They're just bots,
Yep.
all bots. And the bots likes the bots comments. And next thing you know, when 300 bots are tight or giving likes to the one bot's comment about something negative about my video, then you get the unfortunate brainwashed liberals, Canadian ones, of course. They agree with that because it's a top one. It's like they've been conditioned to like whatever they read or see on TV,
Hmm.
that's their reality. And unfortunately, I think we see what's happened with that with mainstream media as well too. Like it just it just kind of boggles my mind. I think it does with everyone as well. Like the what we see on the TV, liberal media. It's like, man, those are blatant lies they're telling us.
Yeah.
The
And I,
and I tell my Oh, sorry, I was going to say I only tell my friends I only trust the mainstream media for two things: for the weather and the traffic report in the morning. That's it. It's like you can't really lie about the weather. You can't really lie about the traffic, but anything else, man, I go on X, TikTok, and I have my other sources as well too, where we got to look for the truth, right? And I
yeah,
think that's what we're trying to spread.
exactly. And that's the thing I wanted to bring up because I have a bit of a background in media. I know a few people in the mainstream media business, and it's at the point now where I can't turn on the TV. I can't follow any of the mainstream media because anything they say, I'm going, where's the lie? Like there's no truth in it. It's like you put out a headline, but how much of that is real and how much of it is a paid off narrative?
Oh, exactly. And that's my thing. Like when we're all seeing the news, like and now whenever I see CBC is on my TV is never on those stations anymore. I just keep it on the sports or something. But my parents, God bless them, they're also, strong conservative minded as well. And they give me their views as well, too. Especially when they tell me, you know what, I left the communist country to come here and
Yeah.
look what's happening here. And they're like, what's happening here in Canada? This is exactly what happened to our home country. And that's why they left. It was unfortunate, beautiful country, but when it's suppressed with like communism and lies and propaganda, you got to get out of there.
I mean, yeah, and that's just it because I can even say my grandparents And my parents, at least on one side, I come from an Italian family that immigrated to Canada back in the 50s, back in a time when just after the Second World War, Italy was destroyed. It was down at its lowest point, and a lot of people don't understand now. And personally, I actually admire their current leader, um, their current prime minister, Giorgia Meloni, because for people who don't understand, the countries who are getting these conservative leaders now and these freedom oriented leaders after being under suppression from whether it's fascism, communism, Marxism for as long as they were, to see that light of day when you finally get a leader who's actually putting their people first. And obviously, our favorite one just across the border is doing the same thing. Um,
Exactly.
you start to realize it's like this is monumental. This is huge for them, and Canada needs to understand that at some point something has to give here, and we need the same thing.
Yeah, oh, exactly. And we're even seeing it. What happened in was it in India, I believe? Was that where when it was about 6 months ago, they went to overthrow their leader in, I believe it was India, where they had him like almost naked in his underwear and they were escorting him through the rivers
Yeah,
or something like that. It happened there. Look what's happened in Iran too, in Tehran. They wanted their dictator or whatever you call him. They got him out. People are taking to the streets. Like when people had enough, they had enough.
yeah,
And it's why I so respect our Canadian Patriots for well, even when it was the trucker convoy,
hmm,
Chris Barber, Tamara Litch,
yeah,
how they started that entire thing. And what we need I think for a big change to happen, a big wake up call, we need something like another trucker protest happening. But I always said, you know what? We need 1 million Canadians marching to Ottawa. You get 1 million Canadians in Ottawa, you're going to get a change. That it worked for Martin Luther King Jr. with the Million Man March.
it
Why
did.
won't it work for Canada?
See, I made a video on TikTok to say like the only way things change is if we have, and I wouldn't even say 1 million. I said we need like a good half the population to
Yeah,
be in Ottawa surrounding Parliament to the point where it's and not in a violent way, just in a way where it's our leaders have to understand it's like you're not leaving or getting out of this until things change.
yeah, exactly. If it means knock on the door, Carney, you got to go. We demand a new leader. Like something's gonna have to happen. And I do like that. Like I say million, but you know what? Heck, 20 million people in Ottawa. That would be
Yeah.
a monumental change. I think the only thing that people are going to be scared, they're going to be scared. Canadians are going to be scared. When you got a tyrant government, like in the past, if you ever try to overthrow a government, that government is going to do whatever they want or whatever they can to stay in power.
Yep.
Now, are they going to start using? So we saw what happened. Trucker protests. They
Yep.
trampled on Canadian patriots with horses.
Hmm.
Uh, Police swung batons at defenseless Canadians. Is it going to go to bullets? Are they going to start launching missiles? We're going to bring tanks. We just don't know how bad or how hard the Liberal government will be, and it could get that way. But I forget which user told me. It was another influencer on TikTok, but they said it comes down to the people operating the tanks, operating the missiles, flying the planes. As a human, as a Canadian, they work for, they're here to serve and protect Canadians. If they stand down, if they say, I refuse to listen to this government,
Yeah.
I think that's where it comes down to. Whereas we saw some police, they didn't, some stood down at the trucker protest, but there were many that were like really brainwashed to start swinging that baton.
Yeah, and I mean, we just spoke to Chris Barber not long ago, and he went through grave detail of everything that happened. Obviously, being right in the mix and being the front of all of that. The one lady you mentioned, there was actually two of them that ended up getting trampled. But the one lady, Candace Ciro, she ended up she dislocated her shoulder and had a bunch of other injuries as a result. And to this day, she's going through reconstructive surgeries as a result.
Yeah, and if she's a working woman, it's like, now how are you going to do your job? Who's going to cover the disability? Who's going to cover the bills? It gets sad like that.
And well, the part I want to bring up too, because we hear like the big push for the care for Indigenous people in Canada. Well, the woman who was trampled is Candace Zero, and she's an Indigenous woman from Ontario. Um, and there's been no accountability to the Toronto Police Service who actually committed that act. And there's been no accountability for them. So when it comes to the Orange Lives Matter or All Lives Matter on the Indigenous side, it's like, okay, where are those people now? Why are you not speaking up when she's one of you and you didn't stand up for her?
Yeah, exactly. And it makes you wonder, why didn't they speak up to them? Were they just not? Now that video, like the information, Candace was the one that got trampled on. I
Mhm.
don't think they you saw that on mainstream media at all. It was
No.
all through TikTok, Instagram, X, and is it because her information, that scenario wasn't on the mainstream media? Is that why maybe a good chunk of the indigenous population didn't know about that? Like, or do they know and their politicians told them to shush, where they offered big bucks? Like, you never know what's
Yeah.
corruption's also going on there.
Yeah, because you'd think even if she lives on a reserve, it's like, why did the chief of whichever reserve she's a part of, why didn't they speak up? Why didn't they demand action on that? Like who's paying them off to stay quiet?
Oh,
When
exactly. And right now, our government's probably praying to God that no one brings that up.
and it already
They
has
just,
been brought up.
oh, it has. And but now they're probably just trying to kick the can down the road in a way, or it's like, no, no, we got to deal with this now, but well, we got a leader that's just flying all over the world right now. Is he on his way to China this week or something?
Who knows where he's going to go? And I don't know if I can say he's worse than Trudeau. Um,
It's been like such a small population size, or sample size. I mean, we had Trudeau for basically 10 years, and we had it's almost been a year with Carney. I don't know who's where I it just seems Carney is more ruthless. Like, he's more prone to throwing money around all over the place, and he's got these conflicts of interest up the wazoo that, why doesn't the mainstream media want to talk about that? Or if they do, they make it sound like it's nothing.
yeah,
It's like, can't we just open our eyes, see that a globalist was installed as our prime minister?
yeah,
And that election we had, man, I don't believe any of that. Like,
no,
weren't like mail-in votes were getting returned back to the sender. The one was somewhere in Quebec. Her vote was for conservative, but
yeah,
somehow I think the Bloc won it, where conservatives were supposed to win by one, but they didn't count her vote. It's,
yeah,
it, it's like, how many other shady things have gone on? And on my Instagram page, I also have that one video pinned where you saw the people walking out with it was these old ladies. They had walking out with bags of the ballot boxes. It's like,
yeah,
you just got out of an Uber and you're ready to walk into a no frills with these like ballots. It's like, did you open it up in Uber, start taking things out? Like
yeah.
it, and how many other hundreds of thousands of those instances happened across the country, and we only caught that one? It's like, a lot of shady things happen, man, and I think Canadians are waking up. I think they're starting to see the man behind the curtain, I guess you could say.
I would
Yeah.
hope so. And I caught wind of what happened. I don't know if it was yesterday or a couple days ago, but the protest in downtown Toronto, in liberal Toronto, for Canada First. Were you anywhere near that? Did you see what happened there?
No, I didn't go to that thing. I live about 3.5 hours away from Toronto. I didn't get to go. I wanted to, really, but I just couldn't. Uh, but it was, yeah, like it was, that was like a big movement. And I believe the Canada First movement, it first started in September. And I
Yeah.
think this is the third one that they had. They had one in September, then they had one in November, and now they had the one yesterday. And it just grew, getting bigger and bigger. And the what I loved about seeing it this time, the first time maybe it happened the other time, I didn't notice it, but the police were actually there as an escort for the
Yeah.
protesters, and they were actually clearing the way. And man, these what were they? The Antifa protesters, the
Yeah.
counter protesters. Man, they're like rabid dogs. Like I'm surprised foam wasn't coming out of their mouths. They were that mean.
Oh.
It's like you're looking the devil right in the eye with these people. Like
Yeah.
there's good and evil in this world, not really in the middle. And that was evil, man. It's almost like you remember The Walking Dead, like
Yeah.
that show.
It's exactly that. That's exactly what it
I
is.
in my TikTok, when I do my TikTok lives as well, I compare that. I compare it's like these liberals got bit by the zombie and they become the zombie. And once you're a zombie, there's no going back. You are the Walking Dead. Your brain is rotting. Your everything is rotting. And that's what these people are, unfortunately. And it makes me sad. Like, and the way how I look at all Canadians, I love everyone with, as a Canadian, I love everyone, all my
Yeah.
heart, liberal, conservative. But I look at the liberal one as I compare him to a little child. Let's say
Mhm.
there's a 4-year-old child having a temper tantrum, kicking, screaming, biting, but you got to know, it's just a kid. They don't know any better. Just
Yeah.
let the adult grab the hand. You're going this way, liberal. It's like that's why I
Yeah.
look at it like you got to grab them by the reins and tell them, listen, your views are demented. This is the way.
Yeah.
We need the Mandalorian to come, man.
Well, and to put it in another perspective, I was telling you a couple days ago, like I'm from Ontario originally, and I moved to Alberta 4.5, 5 years ago, um, during the heart of the scamdemic. Um, and it's just that thing of like there's a mentality shift east to west of Canada. I don't know if you've seen it, um, or if you've been able to get out west at all.
I
Um,
haven't gone out west at all, actually.
so like the first time I drove, it was 2021, heart of COVID. Like things were still masks, jabs, all of it. Um, and once you passed Manitoba, it went from communist lockdowns to freedom. Like Saskatchewan, Alberta, like Saskatchewan, Alberta, you can go in anywhere without a mask. Nobody's giving you a hard time. People are minding their own business. There's no being attacked in a grocery store. Um, and I experienced that firsthand in Ontario, but it's one of those things too where a lot of people left Ontario and came to Alberta after I did, like even up to now. The problem is they're bringing that mentality west. They're bringing that lockdown, do as the government says, don't question it. And so it's getting to that point where while the West was free, I'm not so sure anymore.
Yeah, it's
And
almost getting infiltrated in a way.
It is. And that's the problem out here. And I'm sure you're aware of what's happening in Alberta. We're going into a referendum this year to vote to leave. Um, and like you, I've been a Canadian patriot for a long time, but I'm in favor of leaving. I'm supporting independence because what people fail to understand, and obviously people like us, we get called traitors and whatnot all the time, but the Canada we grew up in, the Canada we came to love is gone. It no longer exists. Like we used to be able to, express ourselves freely all the time, and now we're at the mercy of the left. We're at the mercy of what government says, and to the point where we can get arrested for opposing it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the day I'm waiting for. Is it Bill C9 is the one or Bill
yeah.
C2? Those ones where if they pass them, I could get locked up for one of my TikToks.
Yeah.
Like, you kidding me? It's going to come to that. It's happened. I guess it's happened well, it has happened in Britain already. It's happened in Australia. It seems like the Commonwealth countries are getting it.
That might
And
have something to do with it, I'm thinking.
I think so.
That it's the
Maybe something
Commonwealth.
about the Queen's rule but then it goes deeper into that. And when you start, being the influencer and all, when you start meeting all these new people, they start giving you a whole new perspective about
Yeah.
like the globalism, the World Economic Forum, Agenda 2030. It's like, man, by 2030, they want us to have like digital ID. They want to be able to control us, control how we think. It's almost like that book by Orwell, 1984, The
Yep.
Thought Crimes. You have a thought that could be a crime, and you're going to get locked up for it.
Yeah, it blows my mind, and it's something where like the conversations happen here all the time with me and my wife, and I'm sure you may have had the same conversation, but for us it's more of if this referendum in Alberta fails, do we leave anyway? Like,
Exactly.
do we call it a day with Canada and cross the border? Because for me in this space, and you're in the same space, and there's a bunch of us where all we're trying to do is bring truth to light. We're just trying to get information out there so people understand what's really happening. But if it's going to get to the point where we lose our livelihoods, we can get arrested for God knows how long. Like, and it's not that we're going to stop fighting for Canada. It's just how do we continue to do it without that fear, without that risk of being locked up? It's like, do we have to cross the border, continue doing the content, but just put ourselves in a safer position, in a more affordable position, in a freer position, just to have a better way of life? Like, is it? Have you been in that kind of mindset?
Yeah, I have thought about that. I did speak to my wife about that as well. Like, what if it gets really bad in Ontario, but then we see, let's say Alberta does get that referendum. It's like, so let's say if they pass, say yes. Now it's like we have to have the conversation. Damn, do we literally pick up everything that we, you know, built for ourselves in Ontario at home here and go to Alberta? But that
Yeah.
means got to say goodbye to the family, the friends, all that, starting all over again. It's like, do I really want to do that where I'm going to be like hitting 50 in a few years?
Yeah.
It does get to that point. Also, too, like I'm about almost 11 years from a pension as well. Like, will it transfer over there or not? There's a lot of, if you're a youth, I would say, heck, go for it. Why
Yeah.
not? Like someone your age, just go, man. Like, why
Yeah.
not? Be free. You're young. You don't have the crazy responsibilities. Once you get locked into the mortgage and the bills and I guess living comfortably in this area, it makes you wonder, is it time to go or can you leave? But if back to your question there, or your other scenario, what if Alberta says votes no? Now it's like, uh-oh, you're stuck. Would I move to the States? I think it comes to the point where now I have family that lives in the States.
Yeah.
So I got lucky like that where if I don't know if we can claim asylum in the
Yeah.
States if it comes
We
down to that.
can.
Can.
It's
It's
just
just
it's a complicated process because from my understanding, from the research I've done, it's not guaranteed. You can make that claim and they'll give you 6 months, basically on limited income, but it's that point of within that 6 months, if they feel like your claim is not fully justified, that it'll be denied. The thing is, they won't send you back to Canada because they still understand that you fear for your life or fear some type of persecution, but they'll send you somewhere that has an equivalent amount of freedom to the United States. And it's like, well, very few countries do. So where are you going to send me at that point?
Yeah, exactly. Like you can't send me to Mexico, Cuba, like St. Martin, maybe something like that. Aruba. Hey, I don't know. One of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Like some options, but where would you go, man? It's either Canada or the U.S.
yeah.
Now I also have citizenship in Europe as well too, like from where my parents are from. So I'm
Yeah.
a dual, but I'm like. I don't want to move there, man.
No.
You know, that's a place to vacation a month. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But to live there forever, then because they have a different kind of a healthcare system, and my cousin, for instance, she like passed away 2 years ago because it was a poor medical system
Yeah.
where she had cancer. Like for instance, she got chemo. It was by injection, but
Yeah.
they missed her vein in the arm and they didn't care. And then next thing you know, her arm got gangrene and they almost had to amputate it. But then they said, "Oh, can't give her any more for 3 months." But then by then she was dead anyways. So
Yeah.
I don't want to get tossed in that one either. But if we do some kind of let's say if you claim asylum in the States, you're there for the 6 months. I imagine a normal Canadian like ourselves, we'll probably try to, go find work, or before we even think about it, look for a sponsor. Like
Yeah.
before I go, it's like, okay, I want to find a job where I can make the equivalent pay as I am
Exactly.
now. Like I have friends of mine that cross the border. They work at the big three, at the Ford, at Chrysler,
Yeah.
Amoco. It's all these other companies, and I'm like, I could probably just work with them as well too. Just
Yeah.
it's a different kind of a job, But you would probably have to set yourself up for that, I imagine. That way, maybe the government they say, "Wow, he comes to you've been here in 2 months in the States for refugee status and or asylum." And you're working, you're making this income, and they might grant you that afterwards if you. I imagine, I don't know for sure, but
Well, you
You
would
would
hope
hope
that
that
would
would.
be the look because it's not like you're just going there to mooch off of government welfare. You're doing it the right way and actually contributing to the U.S. economy, right?
oh, exactly, contribute to society. That's how we thrive in life here.
And that's just I think that's what we want here too when people come in is don't collect welfare, don't mooch off the rest of us taxpayers. Like be part of our society, work, like be Canadian.
Oh, exactly. And then, like I see these people that come, the foreigners that come over, where they're uh, like there were videos on TikTok that's telling foreigners, "Hey, come to Canada. You could get 83 grand a year. This is what you got to do." Da, 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 da. And then they all come in droves and they're listening to them. And apparently I heard that they stopped interviewing new asylum seekers into Canada, where they just download an app and it's something like that, not even a face-to-face conversation anymore.
Yeah.
And we're just letting in anybody and everything. It's like, did you just let in like 30,000 terrorists, where it seems like Canada did? Or they lost track of how many thousands of these people where they're like, oh, oops, Canada let in tens of thousands of criminals
Yeah. So
out of 5 million. It's like,
we're
how do
coming
you
to.
control that now? They lost control. The local government has screwed up royally.
Yeah, and I mean, so we're coming to the end of the show here, but I did want to ask you the big question here is Canada all of a sudden decides, you know what, we're going to listen to Canada. We're going to listen to the people here. If the government opens up the question of what do you envision for Canada going forward, what do you want to see happen? What's your answer to that?
I think the best way to look at that is looking into the future. Like I got twin daughters; they're 16. I want a stable, strong Canada for them. It's
Mhm.
like I want them to be able to afford a home, but where these homes are average price $700,000, and the entry jobs are like $25 an hour. It's like you're not going to maintain that. You can't even maintain rent right now, where it's
Mhm.
like over 2,000. So we definitely got to. If the government just said that would be a miracle, they open up to be okay. First of all, we got to do something about the housing prices.
Mhm.
Like we can't just say, okay, let's make modular homes where they're these side by sides, each one's 625 square feet, and it's like going for $500,000.
Yeah.
It's like my garage is a little bigger than that. Like you got
Yeah.
to be kidding me. So we got to do something about that. I'll be telling like government, we got to work on housing prices first. We got to work on the food pricing. It's like if you shouldn't be able to, the rich shouldn't be the only ones allowed to eat. It's like, I don't know if you follow Ice Cube sandwiches on
I
TikTok.
do.
Oh man, I can't remember the guy's name, but that guy's awesome. And he always made a joke about a government wants us to eat grass sandwiches.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I don't want my kids eating grass.
Yeah.
Like it comes to a point where we got to be like dairy cows. No, like we got to tackle the food prices. in the jobs, man. Like my kids, they've handed out 30 resumes, probably a month, different companies, maybe the repeat ones, not one call. It's like they can't even get a job at McDonald's or Tim Hortons, like not even the mall. It's impossible. So I think we got to make a positive future for our youth, make it. And I do speak with a lot of youth as well too. Like I'm also I do like some counseling on the side as well,
Yeah.
and they're fearful for their future. They're like, "What's Canada going to be for me in 10 years? Well, I don't know if I'll ever be get a job." Like they're like it's like doom and gloom for them,
Yeah.
you know. And it's insane. So we got to tackle those problems. Like I said, just affordability and the immigration crisis. I get it. You need, heck, our forefathers, the ones that came to Canada, like you're Italian, they built Canada.
Yeah.
They were the masons. They were the construction workers. They were the cement finishers. They did all the skilled trades.
Yeah.
I'm involved in skilled trades as well. They're the ones that built this country. And we're bringing in these people that aren't helping to build the country. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, someone wants to come in, come the right way. Don't just claim asylum or, unless it's from a war-torn country, I get it, but don't come here looking for a free lunch in a way and thinking you can hang out all day, protest all day, and not have to think you got to contribute to society. You know, I would say that's the main thing, the affordability, like the housing, the food prices, we got to fix that. We got to fix the job market. Like it's tough finding a job out there for these young Canadians. The immigration crisis, that's really huge. And it's like, for love of God, like we got to stop throwing out just give billions upon billions of dollars to other countries like Ukraine. I think as of right now, like since Trudeau got in, I think I think they've received over $30 billion
Yeah.
and like maybe 37 billion actually. It's like, where's that money going to, honestly? And then you see a brand new ski resort made. It's like that costs 1.5 billion.
Yeah.
Did Canada pay for that?
Exactly.
And and I think you're familiar with Nick Shirley as well from
Yep.
oh man, from the States there. I saw a video. He went to Ukraine, I think it was earlier this year, and he videoed, I guess, all the politicians where they were at some gala or a party,
Yeah.
and he videoed all the cars that were in front of this gala. They're all like Maseratis, like Lamborghinis, like $2 million vehicles are lined up on the streets. It's like, who paid for that?
Thank you once again to the Proud Canuck for joining us today. Another great episode in the books. We'll see you next time.